I'm told that this thing is on and that YouTube is working and receiving my content, and that you guys will see it in just a moment. Also says I'm offline, so there's conflicting evidence here. This is the technical portion of the show. I'm just going to assume it's live and roll with that. Oh, here I am. What's going on here? Okay. We are live. Welcome. Welcome everybody to the Tool Show. I'm Greg, and this is not Sage. Sage is actually out of town today, so you're just getting me. So my apologies in advance. Sage is taking his kid to Ann Arbor, Michigan, where he's going to, hurl a javelin at somebody and pretend like he's a Greek from like 2,000 years ago or something. I don't really know. But in any case, it's me, and welcome to the Tool Show. We've got a few things to talk about today. Huge Google news from yesterday that you probably didn't hear about, and it probably doesn't mean anything. But we're going to talk about that from the Google's I/O Development Summit or something like that they had yesterday. We're going to talk about a new camera that Google is mailing out to people for no particular reason. And we're going to talk women's fashion, because who is better qualified to talk about that than me? Now, I'm just kidding. We're actually going to be talking about marketing of a particular brand of women's fashion called Lulu Row. Lulu Row, I think. So, welcome one and welcome all. Let's just get into it. Hey, Piano Wall's here. I don't really actually know that that's how you pronounce that, but that's what Sage pronounces it as, so I'm just going to stick with that. Welcome, Pam. Hi. Let's see. What should we start off with? Let's start with Google's camera. Actually, you know what? I'm going to show you something, right? Because this is something you guys don't really get to see. You get to see a little bit. Get to see a water bottle over here. There's a falling apart pack of paper. I'm at Sage's desk, and I thought maybe I could take a moment to share with you the magic that is Sage's desk. So I'm going to reach up and try and grab the camera and show you around Sage's desk for a second. And then we'll get into the other stuff. This is probably a really bad idea. Okay, so this, it's all washed out. This is Sage's desk. There's stuff everywhere. There's a pack of Legos. Sorry it's so bright, but there's paper. No, you can't see any of this. There's a teacup here. This can of soda has been sitting here for months. This thing is not a mouse. I don't know what it is, but it doesn't work good. This keyboard is all wavy, so the keys aren't in the right place. It's really difficult working at his desk. That's all I'm trying to say. Hold on, I'm trying to put the camera back. That was probably not a good idea. No, it's not right. Not right. Yeah, it's good enough. All right. Let's look at something that's not my face. This button, I think. All right, that guy. Hey, you're a good-looking dude. We're going to come back and talk to you in a minute. First, we're going to talk about Poto. What the heck is a Poto? Well, let's watch a video. How do I get rid of my face on the screen? With little boys. I don't know how to do that. Never mind. You get to look at my face while the video plays. Okay. This ad goes on for forever. But essentially, that little blue thing right there is a Poto, and it is a little sticky camera, and it sticks to things, and it takes pictures. I think it might take a little bit of video. It runs off of your app. It's essentially like a selfie cam for when you want to not use your phone as a camera, but you need your phone to use the camera. I don't really get it. But anyway, Google just came out with this little sticky thing and they're mailing them to people. I don't know if Google owns Poto or if Google just thought they were cool and started mailing them out, but I've heard agencies are starting to get them. We might get one here. And I'd never heard of this before, and I just thought I'd share it with you. So there you go. It really doesn't have anything to do with anything. I just threw it in here for giggles. All right, let's get into the Google news. I also can't use this stupid. Did I mention this is not a mouse? Okay, there we go. Now we're coming back to there. Google official blog. This came out yesterday. And people are saying that essentially this bit of news that we're about to talk about here is essentially thinking about Google as Google 2.0. And I kind of think that maybe that's a stretch. But their announcement was basically like, oh, look, we used to do Google where you would go to Google and you type things in and we send you get the 10 blue links and then we send you to the websites. And they're like, well, now everything's basically mobile focused. And they're like, we have, I think they said 20% of all searches made on a mobile phone are made by voice. And so Google is announcing the Google Assistant. And I don't know why, but this was very difficult for some people to understand, but I don't think it's very difficult at all. Essentially what they are saying is they have created an assistant. So if you have Siri on your iPhone, that would be an assistant. Microsoft now has Cortana, and Cortana is on Windows 10. You can talk to it and ask her things and whatever, and she'll Bing it for you. And then you have, but now Cortana is also Microsoft's assistant that is on other devices too. So it's, I believe it's on Xbox or it's coming to Xbox. So what they're doing is they're kind of making these assistants, and the idea here is not just to ask it a question and get an answer back, but Google's saying, look, we want to make this a tool that you can ask it something, but it will go out and actually interact with the world on your behalf. So one example of this that they used, and I do not know if it's going to be in this thing, on this page or not, probably not, is this. So you're like, hey, are you hungry? Yeah, let's get Italian food. And then this app right here will be like, well, here, I could show you Italian food nearby. Here's some Italian restaurants you might be interested in trying. Which one first looks good? Let's book it, and then it books your reservation for you. It'll be like, well, according to Opentable, there's a reservation for 7:30. Is that good for you? And you're like, yeah, that's good for me, and Google will go out and book it through Opentable for you. And so what we're starting to see are these apps that are like intertwining with one another, right? Like they're working together. And Google is feeling that that is kind of like the next evolution of search. They said that we don't want to just give people links anymore. We want to do things for them. We want to help them do things. So you want to go see a movie? You're like, what's a movie theater nearby? And they're like, well, what movie do you want to see? And what are the times? Okay, book my ticket. And and then the tickets are there when you get there. And so, because they did it through Fandango or whatever. So you're just going to start to see that that's how they want search now to not just be like, go to Google and type in a query, which you'll still be able to do, by the way, but they want it to be more conversational. And so, this is not new news. Amazon has Echo, And that's the little device that's, I don't know, it's like a Bluetooth speakery device, and it sits on your coffee table, and it has an assistant in it called Alexa, and Alexa will play you a song or reorder something from you from Amazon, and it's kind of like just this interaction thing. You can also bet I'd bet hard money that Google purchased Nest, which was the thermometer. It's like the learning thermometer, but it's also now tying into different devices in your home. And so Google announced that they have a thing called Google Home. And Google Home is very much just looks almost like identical to Amazon's Echo. But they're going to be using their Nest technology to start to interconnect, and we're gonna finally start getting the smart homes, like turning lights on, turning them off, letting you know if somebody's breaking into your home, I don't know, ordering something from Amazon. I don't know what the future holds. But they're touting this as a major release for Google. I don't feel that it's. I remember when Siri came out like a few years ago, and they were just like, it's gonna be your assistant in your pocket, and you're just like, and then she kind of sucks, she's not very good at helping you do stuff. I have a feeling this is gonna be the same way. They're just rebranding it, and it's the googly version, and so cool, good for them. But they announced it like this is the next realm of search, and indeed, I guess it kind of is, we're kind of moving towards that. So, thought it was good to mention. What else did they announce there? So they have 2 apps, I believe. Allo is the messaging app that comes with Google Assistant. So, they want you to use this instead of your just traditional instant messaging apps back and forth with people. And you can interact with it. I'm sure it'll be on Android. Duo. I don't know. They're just putting it in everything. So basically what they're saying is we've created this thing and it's going in all our other things. Oddly though, not coming in Poto or Pogo or whatever that stupid camera was. So there you go. Developer. It was mostly a developer thing yesterday, so that was the big Google news. There is, if you want to really learn more about it, there's a really good interview over here on Forbes, and I'm not going to read it to you. I will let you read that on your own. I will paste it over here in the comments. First. All right. This is a really good interview about like this guy and like, I don't know, the inner workings of the Google Assistant and what it means and what's coming. It's like really in depth, but I think it's worth a read if you're interested. So let's move on to topic number 3. Topic number 3. I had somebody come to me say, Greg, what do you think about Lulu Row? And I was like, Lulu what? They're like, you're in online marketing. What do you think about Lulu Row? And I was like, Lulu what? Lulu Row, Greg. What do you think about them? I'm like, I think I've never heard of them before. What are you talking about? And they were like, they are the hottest thing on the internet right now. And it is all marketing. It is insane. And it's just blowing up and it's taking over the whole world. And wow, you should really look into it. And I'm like, okay, what are you talking about? And they were like, well, it's just everywhere. It's on my Facebook. It's on my everything. And I'm like, what do they do? She's like, well, they that's the funny part. They just sell clothes. And I'm like, they sell clothes. And she's like, yeah, but on Facebook. And I'm like, okay, like a shopping cart? She's like, no money. You don't need any money. I mean, like you're going to pay for it, but not right. You just get it on Facebook. I'm like, slow down, back up. What the hell are you talking about? She's like, well, look, I just started getting these messages about like, oh, look at this cool clothes, and isn't this really pretty? And oh, this one's a unicorn, and I'm like, I still don't understand what you're saying. She's like, look, they're just getting messages and then you buy clothes on Facebook just by replying. And I was like, okay, I'm going to have to look into it. And what I will say is that we're going to talk about, it's interesting. Okay, I think it's interesting, but it's really kind of smart the way that they're doing it. And it's not new. Okay, so first of all, this groundbreaking thing is not new. So let's say, what is Lulu Row? Let's start with that. So somebody over here who works for Lulu Row, by the way, wrote this wonderful article. What is Lulu Row? Lulu Row is a direct marketing company existing to provide an opportunity for people to create freedom by selling comfortable, affordable, stylish clothing. Okay, so right away, we learn that Lulu Row is not selling clothes. Lulu Row is a direct marketing company enabling other people to sell clothes. And it offers its consultants the independence to set their own pace and schedule. This creates the time to spend with those closest to them, the very thing that the owner, Deanne Stidham, had once desired for herself. The company is named after 3 of the owner's granddaughters, Lucy, Lola, and Monroe. Aw, Lulu Row. Clothes are fashion-forward, quick to market, on-trend pieces in limited production amounts. Okay, so pay attention to that. It's marketing speak, blah, 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 trendy, blah, blah, blah. Limited production amounts. So the limited availability of designs and patterns, no more than 1,000 items are created from a specific print, has created high demand and addicts everywhere. The clothes are flattering, comfortable, and they are manufactured with attention to detail and a commitment to high quality. Consultants receive new prints every time they place their order for new inventory with Lulu Row. Most consultants aim to order once a week, so that means they are receiving a new selection to share with their customers constantly. Highly sought-after pieces are referred to be customers and consultants as unicorn, a term used as a nod to the rarity of the item. Lulu Row has built its business around in-home pop-up boutiques, and they are the foundation of the business for most Lulu Row consultants. Okay, so this all starts to become perfectly clear. What does this mean? This means I can join Lulu Row. I can sell you Lulu Row clothes. I can get you special patterns. How does this work in reality, though? This is kind of fun. This was the marketing part of it that I thought was entertaining. Because what happens is somebody's like, oh, I want to sell Lulu Row clothes. So they become a Lulu Row consultant. And then they come over here to Facebook. Facebook's a great place for this. And they form a group. Now, why would they form a group? Why wouldn't they just make a Facebook page? Well, they form a group because they take all of their 200 or 300 friends, right? And they're like, they add them to the group. See, when you are in a group on Facebook, other people can add you in. I don't have to approve anything. They can just add me into the group. So you start with like, oh, look, I have a customer base of potentially 200 or 300 people that I already know. And you're like, oh my God. And then somebody else sees it. And then if you like see it, these things just start popping up on your timeline. And then they'll post. It's on your timeline, or the leggings of the month, and then they're just like, oh, we're going to have a shop, and oh, Saturday afternoon, and pop-up shop, and what does that mean? It just means come to my house, and then we have all the clothes in their house, and you get to try on the clothes, whatever you've ordered online, you get to pick up. And so this is the beautiful part, because now anytime you post up something here, you're like, oh, I would like to buy that. Now, Lulu Row, this lady over here, this Lulu Row boutique, Ali's Lulu Row boutique inventory shop. It's not really a shop. It's just Facebook group, and you post up something, and people reply with what they want and the size. And then you're marked for that. Then she's like, go on over to this Google sheet that I have set up, because she doesn't need anything more than that. And that Google sheet, you just type in your name and your address. And then that way she'll send you an invoice. So you get an invoice, you pay the invoice, and then you go to our pop-up thing, and you pick up your clothes. It's really kind of genius, but it's essentially like a Tupperware party, but for clothes. And it's essentially kind of like a multi-level marketing thing, but clothes. And the genius part about using it on Facebook really is, boom, you get your initial audience. They think it's taking over the world because they're like, oh, I just see Lulu Row all over the place. And then they can come, and anytime they comment, anytime they say anything, then that goes out to their friends. And their friends then get to start seeing all this stuff, and they're like, oh, what's this Lulu Row thing? It's taking over the world. They're like, I'll join that group. And this group right here is a local group that apparently within the course of not too long here, let's see if I can show you this, has 2,654 members. Because people actively join this. There are people that want to sell it. There are people that want to sell it under this lady, so you could help this lady sell it, and you'll get a cut. Or, you could just buy stuff if you just like to buy stuff. And what I can tell you is this is not the only group on Facebook. This is just one I came across. Lulu Row. Look at all these groups. All these groups. 1,800 members, 2,700 members, 3,400 members. Some of them are closed groups, so that makes everything like it has this built-in exclusivity. And if people want to buy stuff, then they gotta buy stuff. Let's see, groups over here. So, closed group, 360 members, 2,000 members, 12,000 members, 2,500 members. And closed group over here doesn't mean shuttered people. It means it's like you gotta ask to be in it because you want to be part of it. 6,500 members, 5,000 members, a lot of people. A lot of people are doing this. So I thought that was kind of interesting. It's like a multi-level marketing, and according to my friend, I don't know anything about their clothes or anything like that, but according to my friend, they're like mostly average clothes, like not anything super special, and they're not exactly like super cheap. It's just all building around this buzz, and I can tell you it works because my friend was in a fervor. So you can, if you want to do it, you can do it. These people are doing it. They've set up their own site. You can go to a party. It's the Lulu Row party and try on clothes, and hang out with your friends, and I mean, you can do it. I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. It's not something that we usually talk about, and I just thought I'd bring it up to share with you. So, oh, there you go. Vicky says, I have a relative who's doing very well with Lulu Row. See? And I think that when you get a buzz like this going about something like that, I think you can do very well, And it's, it's like, I've seen Tupperware parties. I've seen this kind of stuff for like adult-themed things. I can't remember the name of that company. I've seen... What else have I seen? I mean, I've seen, there's like Avon and Mary Kay and all that kind of stuff. It kind of fits into this. But this is probably the first one I've seen that I think is really using social media in a proper fashion. And I'm quite sure that they guide their people on how to do this because they want it to be successful and they have a formula down and it's working. So I think it's just like the first one I've seen in social media anyway that is just killing it. So good on them. Good on them. Not really my thing, but whatever. So maybe you can get some inspiration from them. Start a Facebook group or something. This is the part of the program where I realized that there's probably at least 5 minutes or so of back and forth between myself and Sage every show, and he's not here, so it's like 5 minutes earlier than normal. What are you gonna do? Enjoy your life, people. Get out. We're just gonna shut the show early. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. I just gave you 5 minutes back on your life. You're welcome. All right. Well, thank you very much for coming, everybody. Sage will be back next week, and I'll probably be here too. But until then, have yourself a great week. Enjoy the beautiful weather, unless it sucks wherever you're at, and then, stay inside, watch a movie or something. Just enjoy. All right, take care, everybody. I'll see you next week. Bye, if I can find the mouse buttons.